Welcome back to another video on the baby Camry Corolla. And on the last video we focused mostly on the electrical stuff, and we tried to fix everything, but we were not able to fix all the things because the wipers, they were needed to be done, and we also needed to do the AIRCON and the hazards. So most of the things we were able to do them, such as the lights, the rear lights, the indicators, and the cluster lights, and the indicators on the cluster, the petrol gauge, the temperature gauge, everything on the cluster now works 100%. And when we open the door, the lights go on to show that we have opened the door. And when we switch off the car while the lights are still on, the car beeps to let us know that we haven't switched off the lights, which is good. That's what we have achieved on the last video. If you haven't subscribed, make sure to hit that subscribe button and to hit that like button before we continue with the wiring, which will be the last part of the wiring to confirm that the car, to be the last confirmation of the car, saying that the car is actually 100% electrically good. So on the last video we didn't actually finish with everything because we just tested if everything supposed to be the way I think it's supposed to be. But the only thing that was left is just to connect everything and then wrap everything and connect everything the way it's supposed to be connected. And I hope that I explained everything the way I needed to explain them on the previous video. And today we're going to try to improve when it comes to explaining and showing how we're actually dealing with the wiring. I know that it has been weeks since we have dealt with the car, and since we have removed everything from the interior, and I'm starting to get sick of seeing the car being stripped apart like this. So on this video we're going to finish up everything, and we're going to make sure that everything goes back on the car. But one, we must make sure that the car is on, because I want to make sure that everything that we do on this car works only when I get the key to be on. When I get the car on, that's when everything will be receiving power. So the task of the day is something that I've already started with, which is the wipers. So I've already started with the wipers, but let me explain how I actually did it. As you can see, there are a bunch of wires over here that have been cut, and I know some of you don't actually want me to cut the wires, and to be honest, I did all that I can to make sure that I don't cut the wires on this car, because I don't really like to cut wires. I like the originality of the car, but in this way I was actually forced, because we couldn't find any issue with the car. We tried all that we can. That's why we took everything out of the car so that we can try to find the wires. We try to trace the wires, but unfortunately we were not able to find anything. And the way the wires were, it was actually scary, because the ones that were supposed to have positive were having negative, and some of the ones that were supposed to have negative, they were having positive. Which means if something goes wrong, then the power goes back where it needs to go back, and it finds the negative. The wires we're going to burn, because positive and negative, they don't actually work. They work together, but they don't actually want to touch each other. So that was a little bit scary. So I've decided that I'm going to cut those wires so that I will eliminate them. They won't work anymore, and start new wires, such as the wipers over here. What I've done, to be completely transparent, I've cut all the wires except the ground wire, so that I'll be able to find the wires for the wipers. And if I switch the wipers, let's check the wipers, because the wipers here, it is fully off, and when I switch it like this, number one, it is going to be turning, but it won't be too much. It's just gonna be a little bit slow. But when I turn like this, it will be a little bit fast, and this is just two of it. 1, 2, that's it. That's all that we have. You can see we only have two clicks on this, which means there are two wires that go to the wipers that make the wiper to work quick. Even this one, when you switch it up, is going to work a little bit fast, and even this one will going to work a little bit fast. There's supposed to be 4 wires that are separate, and this one, the negative, the ground wire, is supposed to be the 5th wire. So we have this wire and this wire and this wire. So what I've done is that these 2 wires, the blue with the black stripe and the blue with the red stripe, these are the ones when you switch on the wipers. When you switch on the wipers, like 1, 2, these are the ones. This is 1 and 2. So this is what needs to be given power, but it was receiving power when you switch on the indicators, which was actually wrong, because when you switch on the indicators, it's not supposed to give power to It's not supposed to give power to the wipers, because if it gives power to the wipers, that means every time when you're driving and it is raining, you need to switch on the indicators to make the wipers work, which will confuse a lot of people on the road, and that's not actually legal, because people will think you're going to the left while you're busy trying to make the wipers work because of this. So what I've done, I just cut the wires, so I eliminated them because they were having faults and I couldn't find anything. So we have these two wires, as I've explained, that they are the two clicks, 1, 2. The black stripe is the first click, and the red stripe is the second click. So this blue wire, just it has only blue on it. This is what we need to give power to. But here's how we're going to do it. We're going to take power straight from the ignition, and we're going to give this a fuse, and we have a fuse on the fuse box. So we're going to connect it with the fuse box so that the fuse on the fuse box will actually work with the wipers the way it's supposed to, because this is what will be giving it power. What I'm basically saying is that the switch itself has 5 wires. We have 3 wires that are going to go straight to the wiper motor, which is going to be the black stripe wire and the red stripe wire, which are responsible for making the wiper motor actually work. And we're also going to have a white stripe wire, which is going to work when you flinch the switch so that the wiper can clean the windscreen. And we're going to have a black and white wire, which is responsible for giving ground. And finally, the 5th wire, which is the green wire, and it is responsible on giving power to the wiper motor so that it will work consistently. We'll need to use a fuse just to make sure that everything works the way we want them to. The green wire, I'm going to connect it with the ignition so that the wiper motor will work when I switch the car on. But make sure to do your own research before you follow my steps, because I'm not actually a professional. I'm just going to create my own wires and the fuse as I've demonstrated. And now I'm just going to reconnect all the wires that I've cut before, because now we have a plan on how we should rewire everything else. Because the only problem that we had was the green wire was receiving power from the indicators when it was not supposed to. All I have to do now is reallocate where it is receiving power, and that's it. The wiper motors will be working 100%. After reconnecting all the wires back together where they were supposed to be connected and getting every wire correct, I'm just gonna wrap them with a salt tape and to separate the wires so that there won't be any connection errors. If you are at this point of the video and you're actually enjoying the video, or you're actually liking the process or what I'm actually doing on the video, make sure to hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure to hit the subscribe button just to support the channel to keep on going so I can bring more videos just like this. So we have covered this whole part over here and going to the side. The reason that I've cut the wires over here, I was trying to find what could be the problem, what could be the issue, and the issue was not from the wires that are going on this side, but was from the wires that are going on this side, because again, this box seems to be the issue, because it's converting power where it's not supposed to be power, and it's converting ground where it's not supposed to be converting ground. So that was the issue. So now everything is sorted out. That's why I have covered the whole part, because it was for this wiper motor, and now everything works the way it's supposed to. So the only thing that is left over here, we are done. We are completely done. Now we are moving on. We should have done with the hazards, but it's kind of confusing with the hazard, so I'm not going to focus on it right now. I'm going to focus on something that I thought it was going to be hard, but it's actually not that hard. So over here, I'm just going to take it apart. You can already see I've cut the ground, because the ground was giving ground everywhere else, and it was not supposed to do that, because we already have a small ground over here. And this big ground, I don't know what it was for, but I don't know, the manufacturers know what it was for. And I'm not actually doing things the way it's supposed to. Remember, I'm not actually a professional at wiring. I'm not a professional at doing wiring. I'm just a person who's trying to figure out what is happening, because at first I said I'm not going to do the AIRCORN because I don't know anything about it, but I figured everything that I do on my videos, I don't know anything about it. I'm just trying to figure out what could be wrong and then try to fix that. If I don't find what could be wrong, then I don't know what I'm going to fix. So in this case, we have something that is not working correctly, so I've decided, you know what, let me try to figure out what could be the issue, and here's how it works. Firstly, here is the motor for spinning the AIRCORN, making sure that the air goes all over the boxes, all over the vents, all over the car. This is what is responsible. So what I had to do is take out these 2 plugs over here just to test if they are receiving power and if they are receiving ground. So this one, the black with the white stripe, is the power, and the black all over is the ground. And when I give it power, this spins. When I give power to this wire directly, this spins, which means it works 100%. There's no issue with it. So the only problem that we had is over here. We didn't have any power at all, and I thought that this wire was supposed to be power, because when I switch the switch over here until the end, it start to give a serious ground, but if I switch it off, there's no ground at all. So I thought maybe that's the issue, maybe is the issue, but nah, this was supposed to be, this is what's wrong with it. So let me just take it apart so that I'll be able to show you what I'm actually talking about. So over here we have the whole mechanism of finding the right temperature, and from the looks of it, at first it didn't look like this. I had to use a wire brush just to clean it, to make sure that it is 100% and there is no issue with it. And over here, inside here, we have this, and this goes on top of it, which is what locates which power is supposed to go to where. So one gives ground, one gives power, one directs where everything needs to go. So it is 3 parts that needs to direct the power and the ground, so at the same time. So over here, this one is for the ground, and this one is for whatever, I don't know what it is for. And this is the slow power that is going to give to the motor. It's the slow power that's going to give to the motor, and this is the mid power, and this is the high power, and this is the max power. So all of this, they work hand in hand. What I've done is that I took my self-made tester and I checked one by one. You can see it is giving light on it, because, and now the motor is spinning, but it's spinning slowly. Then I give it this, it spins a little bit faster, and I give it this a little bit more faster. So again, this one doesn't give power because this one is waiting for the maximum. So here it's supposed to be ground, and here's supposed to be, so I cannot give it ground, because if I give it ground, then the ground will be ground over here and it will be ground over here, and there won't be any power going to anything, because this whole thing is ground, which is leaded by this. That's why there's no light on the tester now. There's no light on the tester, there's no light over here. And here at the back, if I give this power, you can see there's light, and this one is also light, and this one is also light, and this one doesn't give light at all. And this one is ground, is going to give light, and this one is going to give light as well. But if you can check, this one gives light, this one gives light, this one gives light, this one doesn't, and this one doesn't, because this is for this, and this whole section is for this wire, which is for the ground, and this is for this one, which is supposed to be the maximum of the fan running. So what we're going to do, because this piece is going to go on the top and is going to be locating the power as you spin, as you spin this to tell it which way it's supposed to go to give it power. So we're just going to get it back, and then we're going to give the ground power. Where it's supposed to be ground, we're going to give it power, because now we're doing things versa versa, just to make sure that everything works the way it's supposed to. But we also need to connect a fuse to it, and we also need to make sure that this will work with the key on the car. So now I'm just going to get everything back. It only goes one way, there's no other way for all of this piece to go in. They only go in one way, so there won't be any mistake. There you go, it have clicked back to its rightful position. So if I connect it with the original wire, which is this one, if I connect it with the original wire, and I'm telling you nothing's going to work. Let me show you, just for demonstration. I'm just going to show you how things are not going to work if I connect them the way they were supposed to be connected. Okay, we have our ground over here, and we're going to connect it with the other ground, which is the way it came, but it's no longer working the same. So I'm just going to switch this. You can hear the click. Nothing is happening. Nothing is happening. Nothing is happening. So I'm just going to remove the connector. Then I'm going to take power straight from the battery. I'm going to take power straight from the battery. I'm going to take power straight from the battery, and I'm going to connect it over here. You can already hear the fan waking. The fans are now waking. And if I switch this off, it's switched off. If I switch it on, it spins a little bit, but not too much, because that's the way it's supposed to spin. Then I'm going to turn it again. Now it spins a little bit louder, a little bit faster. Then I'm going to turn this again. It's now giving high power, but it's not an extreme power, but it's a little bit higher. Then I'm going to go again, and this time I think it's going to turn off, which is supposed to not turn off. It's supposed to give more power, or it's supposed to go higher. So but at this point it's going to turn off or something like that. Well, I think it reached its maximum because I'm trying to spin it and it's not doing anything, which means we have found the problem with the AIRCON, and we'll be able to drive this when it is raining. There won't be any fog on the windscreen. There won't be any fog on the windscreen because usually there's a fog on the windscreen. That's why this is very important, because it actually helps with the air that is coming from the box going to the screen, so that you'll be able to see when it's raining, when the wipers are wiping the water outside, and this will be removing the fog that will be on the windscreen. If you know, you know what I'm talking about. So now with this sorted, we are 100% good. So I'm just gonna switch it off right now. Then we're going to try to connect this with the key so that it doesn't have power consistently each and every time. Let me demonstrate one more time. I'm just going to switch it. You can see it is spinning. Let me switch it off. You can see it now. So I'm switching it on. As you can see right there. So I'm going to switch it to another level. Then a higher level. Then a lower level, then a lower level. Then I'm gonna switch it off. Yay! Everything works. The only thing that will be left is the hazards. So don't know how I'm going to do it. I have never done this before. I've never done it, but this is a little bit complicated, because you can see that I've tried to figure out what's the issue and I couldn't find anything. So what I'm going to do, because the hazard are really important, but not that important because you don't actually use them all the time. But for now, I'm just gonna let this be, and I'll figure it out later on. What I'm going to do now is connect everything and rearrange the wires. While I'll be busy organizing all the wires, I'll be trying to cover them so that the wires behind the dash will actually look acceptable. So I'm just going to be using a normal masking tape just to cover all the wires that are exposed. And the reason that I'm doing this is that most of the electrical stuff on this car is already been done, and I don't need to do them again. So what I'm also going to be using is some zip ties or cable ties just to hold the wires properly in behind the dashboard, which will also be helpful when the car is moving, so that the wires won't move at all. Because I am already done on this side, I decided to get the center console back on. It's not fully on because there are some things that need to go on, but I need to get the dashboard before I get all of those things on, because I figured that this part needs to go on before the dashboard goes on. And another thing is that the reason that I didn't show me installing this is because my phone battery is about to die and it is low shading. So I don't know if I'll be able to show you me getting everything on, but I guess you already saw me getting the dashboard in and out many times. So right now I'm just gonna reserve the battery on my phone, and then I'll see you when I record again. What I'm going to be doing is some finishing touch-ups just to make sure that I won't have to go back and redo the finishing touch-ups when the dashboard is already on the car. There are only two things that are left to be done on this car, which is the hazards and the alternator. And the alternator, I'll be able to do it on another video, on a separate video. And with the hazards, I don't think I'm going to do it on camera. I'm going to do it off camera, because I just want to get this done, because now I need us to focus on the interior, because I want to transform the whole interior and make the interior really comfortable, because it's a place where you sit, where you going to take your time at. So because right now that mess is about to get cleaned when we get the whole dashboard in, and I just cleaned the dashboard and I'm thinking of removing that and also cleaning it. On the next video, we're going to get everything in and we're going to transform the interior. We're going to do an upholstery on the whole interior. Hopefully everything comes out correct. So this was not a long video and I don't want to end the video here, but I guess I have to. So everything will be completed on the next video. So if you haven't hit that like button, make sure to hit that like button, to hit the subscribe button, and thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.